Hello guys, welcome to the next lecture of CRUD operations using Spring Boot and Angular application. So in this series we are going to basically focus on CRUD operations, and for these CRUD operations we are basically going to create all these things for backend and front end as well. So as a backend we are using Spring Boot, and as a front end we are using Angular. So this is the agenda for this series, and till now in this series we have seen how we can create this registration form and how we can submit the data to the database, and also we have seen how we can create this REST endpoint to get all the student data. So in this video we are basically going to focus on this particular table. So in this particular table what we are doing, we are just taking or retrieving all the student data, and we are just showing this data to this table. And over here we have another functionality, like let me add one new student, like address will be, let's say, Kolkata, and percentage will be 98%. So let me submit this data. So before submitting, you can see there are two rows, that is 1 and 2, and let me submit this data. And here, as you can see, as soon as I submit the data, the table gets updated. So this is how this particular application is going to work. So let me show you how we can create this table and how we can create this particular functionality. So we have already created this REST endpoint. So if you haven't watched that particular video, so please, I will request you to watch this particular video, because we are going to extend this particular REST endpoint into this video. So it will be very helpful if you seen my previous video. So let me show you how we can do these. So now I am in my Visual Studio Code. So the first thing that we are going to do is to add this particular REST endpoint into our service, so that we can inject this service and we can call that particular REST endpoint. So injecting this service and calling one register student REST endpoint we have already done. So in this video we just need to call the get student REST endpoint. So let me go to this student.service.ts file, and here, as you can see, we have all like API, and we have already covered this register student. So in this we are going to add one new function, that is public get student, or let's say get students, because there are multiple students, and again this method will not take anything as a parameter, and it will return the observable. So let me return this dot http dot, the mapping is get mapping. So I will show you how the get mapping is, and then it will take API value, so this dot API, and then we need to add the REST endpoint path. So the REST endpoint path is get students. So let me copy these, and this similar path you will find on this get mapping and get, this is the path. So path is a / get students, and mapping is a get mapping. So in case if you are using if you want to see this into the Eclipse, then here you can find the mapping and the path. Now let me go to this and let me add this particular path. So don't forget to add the / over here, and let me save this. So this will make the whole path will be like http://localhost :9090, and then it will append get students. So this is how it will look like. Now let me save this file, and let me go to our app.component.ts file. Now this is the place from where we are going to call this particular REST endpoint. So here we have already seen how we can use this register, and from this register function we have already called this student service.register student function. Now let me create another function which is having name like get student or get students details, like this. Now over here we just need to call these service functions. So service function, how we will call this dot student service dot get students. So this will return me one observable. So we just need to subscribe that particular observable, and over here if we got any response, then that means we have successfully hit the rest endpoint. So let me first of all console.log response, and if in case we got any error, so let me just handle this particular error. So let me just give comma and err, which will be like error variable, and then these curly brackets. Let me console.log error. So this particular is like a arrow function, which is the Angular functionality. So this particular is called as arrow function. Now let me save this file, and if you want to do like if you are not aware about this particular service, we have already injected this service into our component. So let me go to the constructor, and here as you can see we have already injected these student service in the previous lecture while calling these register student rest endpoint. Now let me save this file and let me show you how it will look like. So we are just printing this response as of now at the console. So let me go to the browser and let me open the first of all console, and here let me refresh this application. So over here we are not getting any values. So this is why, because we have created these get student details function, but we are not calling this function. So let me call this function into the constructor. Then let me call over here like get student details like this. Let me save this. Let me go to the browser and let me show you now how it will look like. Now again over here I am not be able to see any values. I am getting the response, but I am not be able to see any values inside it. This is why, because I don't have any values inside the table. So to get the values, first of all we need to add the values. So we have already form created. So let me go to this particular form. So let me add some data, like student percentage will be 98. Now let me register this, and over here as you can see I got the response of student. So this response is from register student or register method. Now let me again refresh this browser, and now as you can see, as soon as I refresh the browser I got this particular response, and inside this I have values, because this time I have some values into the table. So that's why I am getting all these values. Now what the functionality is, what we just need to do is whenever we will click on this register button, and whenever we fill all the data, and whenever we click on this register button, I want to call that particular get student details method. So over here let me copy this name and let me go to this particular like reset, and again over here let me call this get student details. Let me save this and let me go to the browser again, and now over here it is refreshing, and now over here let me keep this console open so that we can find something over here, and let me write some values. Let's say I have 78%. Let me register this, and now over here as you can see, as soon as I register, that get student details method or function got called, and it is returning me these two particular values. So these two particular values I am just as of now showing at the console, but the main requirement is to show all these values at the table. So first of all we need to create that table so that we can bind all these values to the table. Now let me go to the my Visual Studio again, and into this let me go to this app.component.html file, and over here after this particular registration form. I just want another div, so let me add a div over here like this. Now this div will have the table, so let me write the structure for the table. So it will be like table, and inside this it will be there will be a heading, and after that there will be a body, so T body over here, and inside this heading let me add some values like TR, and then there will be TH, which denotes table heading. So heading will be like roll number, and let me keep this in the one line so that it will acquire some less space like this. Let me copy this TH, let me paste it over here, and let me paste it again because we have 4 values. So roll number, then name, and then it will be like address, and the last column will be like percentage. So let me add percentage like this. Now let me save this and let me go to the browser, and let me show you how now it is looking like. So here, as you can see, there are all these columns, but there is no any styling for this particular column. Now Bootstrap here comes into the picture. So let me go to the Visual Studio and let me apply some Bootstrap classes. So for table we have one class called as a table, and another class called as a table bordered like this. For this heading we have one class called as a t head, and for this t body we have another class called as a t body. Now let me save this, let me go to the browser again, and let me show you now how it is looking like. Now it is looking quite beautiful than the previous. Now we have all the columns, we just need to create the rows and show all the values to this. And again we just need to keep some margin from this particular registration form and inside these tables. So let me go to Visual Studio again, and let me give one class to this div, which is a empty5, which means margin top 5. Now over here inside the body, let me take one tr, which denotes table row and the table data. So the table data will be, again we just need to write all these values. So there will be a different approach over here because we are going to use some Angular functionality. So over here let me again go to this app.component.ts file, and over here we are getting the response. So what we will do, we will take this response, we will keep all the response values into one array, and that particular array we will bind with the table. So let me declare one array over here. So after the constructor or before the constructor, let me write student details, which is the array. So first of all it will be the empty array, and whenever I will get any values, then I will keep all those values into that particular array. So what I will do, I will write this dot student details is equals to response. Now here, as you can see, it is giving me the error. So this is why, because it is asking us for some extra properties. So over here we have just take these student details as an array. So as of now, let me keep this as a null, and let me save these, and let me go to this particular function, and over here, as you can see, the error is vanished. Now we have all the data into this particular array. So what we just need to do, we just need to retrieve all the values from this array, and we just need to bind all these values to the HTML or the HTML table. So let me go to again this app.component.html, and over here in the row let me write some Angular logic. So over here let me type *ng for, which is similar to the for loop into the other programming language. So if you are aware about for loops into the Java or C or anything, this particular ng for will be very similar. So let me write let student of student details. So these student details must be the same as this particular variable name. So you can copy these and you can paste it over here. Now inside this td we just need to bind all those values. So in the first td let me write student dot roll number like this. So these student must be the same of this student, must be the same of this particular student, and roll number must be the same as this particular, you know, the response or the variable name that we have given in at the backend. So you can see in this Postman, otherwise you can go to the Eclipse and you can, you know, open your model class, and over here you will find all these variables. So those particular Angular variables must be same of these particular values. Now let me keep this as it is, and let me show you how this application is now looking like. Now over here, as you can see, we are able to see this student dot roll number. So what is happening over here, this Angular application is not be able to, you know, actually fetch this roll number value. So this is taking this particular text as a simple text. So we just need to tell the Angular that I do not want this simple text, I want value of this particular expression. So for that we just need to you know, keep all this text into the double brackets, or we can say that double curly brackets. Now let me save this, let me go to the browser again and let me refresh this, and over here as you can see we are able to see 1 and 2, and we are not be able to see the name and address because we have not added these. So let me add this fastly. So over here let me copy this file, let me paste this 4 times, and then let me change the student name, student dot address. So over here I just misspelled it, and student dot percentage like this. Let me save this file, let me go to the browser and let me refresh this, and over here as you can see all the values we are able to see into this particular table. So now what we want the 2 buttons in front of each and every row, which will be like edit and delete. So I'm not going to tell you the functionality of those particular buttons in this video, it will be covered in the upcoming videos, but let me add these buttons into this particular table. So let me go to the Visual Studio again, and over here we just need one more column for edit and one more column for delete. So let me add over here edit and let me keep it as delete. Now we have 2 more columns, and then again we just need to copy this one and paste it over here. Now we just don't need to this student dot percentage. So let me remove this, and over here let me type button, then type is equals to button, and inside this let me give the value as edit, and similarly let me give the value as delete below. So let me type button, type is equals to button, and value will be the delete like this. Now let me save this, let me go to the browser, let me show you how it is looking like. Over here you will find this edit and delete option in front of each and every row. So we just need to add some more styles because it is not looking good. So we will add some styles over here. So let me go to the Visual Studio, let me add some bootstrap classes like class btn, which means button, and btn let's say primary, and for this delete button let me add class btn and btn danger. So danger will be like there will be a red color for this particular delete button. So let me go to the browser, let me show you how it is looking like. Now as you can see, it is looking very beautiful. Now let me add those values. So let me add one more value like Harsh, then address will be like let's say Kanpur, and percentage will be like 89, and let me register. Now over here as you can see, the form got vanished. That means all the fields from this particular form got cleared. So that means student registered successfully. And inside this table we are able to see this third row, which is of Harsh, Kanpur, and percentage is 89, and we are also see these edit and delete buttons in front of this. So how this is happening? Because we have added or we have called this get student details function as soon as we register the student. So this is how we can hit the REST endpoint for the retrieve operation, and we have already seen how we can create the REST endpoint for the get student, and in this video we've seen how we can retrieve all those values and show it to the table. So in the next video we are going to see how we can delete this particular record by clicking on this button, because whenever we click on this button, as of now there is no any action. So we are going to add the action for this delete button, and then we will go for the edit as well. So if you do not want to miss those videos, then you need to subscribe to my channel. So thank you for watching this video and subscribe to my channel. Learn programming yourself.